Welcome back in history class. Once again your history ma'am Sushma from JNV Gonda is here. In last video I was teaching you Rebels in Raj. First part you have seen. Now we are going to continue the chapter. So what we had done in the first part, we had discussed about how the revolt started, what were the lines of communication, leaders and followers, then rumors and prophecies, revolt in Awadh, Firangi Raj and the end of a world. Those who have not seen the first part, first you see the first part, then you continue the second part. Okay. Now here we start. Centers of the revolt. These were the main centers of the revolt that we had already discussed in the first part also. Again I am showing you because this also come in map work. Right. The next thing is what the rebel wanted. What we had done, coming of Firangi Raj and the end of a world. There we had to stop the first part. In second part, what we have to do, what the rebels wanted, actually what was their wish. So, vision of unity, they had adopted the vision of unity. How? Through the proclamations, through the notifications, through the ishtihar. Ishtihar is, notifications you can say. So, through the notifications or ishtihars or through the proclamations that were issued by the leaders. So, these proclamations were issued in Hindi, in Urdu, in Persian, in Sanskrit, in the local languages. So, it was easy for the people to understand. And what they were doing, they were uniting both Hindus and Muslims. They tried to achieve Hindu-Muslim unity also. So, irrespective of caste and creed, all the people, they joined the mutiny. Then Ishtihar also brought the forefront. What the Ishtihars were doing? They were glorifying the period that was there before coming of Britishers. Through the ishtihars and notifications, they were telling about Hindu-Muslim unity and they were telling about the memories that was before pre-British period. Now, against the symbols of operations, how they were oppressing, how they were going against the Britishers. When we say they were against Britishers, because what did they say about Britishers? They said that they are not trustworthy. You cannot trust them. For each and every action, there is some plan, there is some conspiracy. So, they are not trustworthy. We cannot trust on them. So, they completely rejected British rule. They were against British rule, and whatever they were doing, Britishers were doing, they were against them. Then the second thing is the land revenue system that was introduced by Britishers. They also criticized that system. They were criticizing the land revenue system. They were criticizing British education also. They were criticizing the policies accepted or started by even the treaties done by Britishers. They were always having suspicion on Britishers, right? So they were humiliating, and not only British government, they were also against the elite people of Indian society. They also made them target. The rich people, they were made the target. The record books were burned. Even their houses, their bungalows were ransacked. They were grabbed, they were ransacked. So they made them their target. Okay. Then this all they were doing to change, bring a change. They wanted to make a change. They were in search of alternative powers. Alternative powers means they wanted to bring a change. How? Because in Kanpur, for a change, what they had done, they wanted to bring a change, right? A change means they wanted to introduce alternative. Alternate, what was alternate for them? They had already developed government. They developed, but Indians developed government. Of course, it failed. Where? In Delhi, at Kanpur, Lucknow. So these are the places where they tried to establish government. Of course, their government failed. It was not successful. So they were trying to bring a change in this way. Then they wanted to restore the culture of the court, whatever was available at that time, the culture of the court, they wanted to reintroduce them. Then they made many appointments on various posts also. So this all was done against the British government. Many appointments were done. Then the culture of the court was brought back. Then they were making plans to fight against the British. The plans against British government. Okay, plans against British. So these were the ways how they were showing their resentment, how they were in search of alternative power. They wanted to replace them. If an alternate government was established, that is different thing. It was not successful. Then second thing is, when they were doing all these things, what steps were taken by the government? When rebels were there, mutineers were there, then of course if you are doing something wrong, I am going to punish you. I cannot tolerate. So what steps were taken by government? First of all, government passed martial law. Martial law is a condition, is a curfew-like condition. Many policies, many laws were introduced. You can see for repressing the uprising of 1857, for repression, what steps were taken? Number one, many laws were passed, right? Many laws were passed by the government. Number one thing. Second thing is martial law in North India, right? Martial law, especially in North India, it is a curfew-like situation, means right to freedom is not given at that time to the people. Then third, what they did means the punishment, severe punishment method. Those who were the rebels, there was only one punishment for them. They thought if they are mutineers, they are rebels, then only one punishment. What punishment? Only the death punishment. Means a severe punishment was given to the rebels. So this was a severe punishment that was given to the rebels. Then the fourth thing was what they were doing. They dispossessed the loyals and they dispossessed the landholders and they awarded those who were rebel landholders were dispossessed and the loyals were awarded. Means those who were giving their support to Britishers, they were awarded, and those who were in the side of mutineers or rebels, they were punished. So these were the steps taken to suppress the revolt, right? So insurgency was there, they tried to suppress the revolt. Then military officers, ordinary Britishers, they were given a lot of powers. They were given the powers to punish Indians if they were suspected as rebellious. Then death punishment was given, and then the landholders, many landholders, they were also exiled. They left their places and they went to other places also. Now, images of revolt. How do we know, what do we know about the revolt? That is through images. How these images, how do we know? Because many paintings were there. Pencil sketches are there, drawings are there, paintings are there, and they are depicting the scenes of the revolt. But one thing, like you are seeing, many people are seeing the same thing. Okay, if I am drawing, then maybe my views are different. You are drawing, your views will be different. So when the images were made by Indians, the views, it was different. Then when it was made by Britishers, it was different. So here we will see the name of some paintings and the painter also. Now newspapers, magazines, they were there and they were depicting the picture of mutineers, and especially those who were published in Britain, they all were against mutineers. So pictorial images were produced, then pencil sketches, paintings, posters, cartoons, they all were showing the images of revolt. Now this is the important painting, Relief of Lucknow. This 1 mark question important for you. Relief of Lucknow was a painting by Thomas Jones Barker. Now this Relief of Lucknow, what they have shown through this painting, I am going to show you the painting here. In this painting, this is the painting, okay, Relief of Lucknow. People are lying, the sepoys are lying on the ground and the captains are greeting each other. This is the scene of residency, still the residency is there, this is the scene of residency, and they are greeting each other. Colin Campbell is there, then Hugh Rose is there, they all are greeting each other, and this painting, The Relief of Lucknow, was done by Thomas Jones Barker. Then next painting, one more is there, In Memoriam, that is painted by Joseph Noel Paton. Joseph Noel Paton, this is a painting in memoriam. In this painting you can see how the one child is lying on the ground, some ladies are lying on the ground. So how they are scared, and this is done by Britishers. So of course what they are trying to show? They are trying to show that the atrocities were committed on them, the brutal behavior was done with them. So they have tried to show the scene. Okay, so these are two important paintings. Then other painting is Miss Wheeler. Miss Wheeler. The name of the painting is Miss Wheeler. So please write, please learn all these. Miss Wheeler is a painting by Wheeler. Now this painting shows how the lady is defending herself against the sepoys of Kanpur. Previously Kanpur was written as Kanpur, C-A-W-N. The spelling was different, right? So how Miss Wheeler is Wheeler, imaginary lady. Okay? Miss Wheeler is imaginary lady and she is defending herself against by Wheeler. She is defending herself against the sepoys. Right? So one painting you have done Relief of Lucknow, second In Memoriam, and third you have done Miss Wheeler. One more painting is there. Right? In this painting, what they have tried to show, the British lion's vengeance on the Bengal tiger. There is a painting, there is a big lion that is considered as a British lion and he is attacking all the Bengal tiger. The tiger is scared. What they are trying to show, the tiger is scared and the lion is attacking on them. So the lion is the government, British government, and Bengal tiger means the Bengal army. So this is also one more painting. Again there is a painting Clemency of Canning. Clemency of Canning is a painting. In this painting, Canning is there and he has kept his hand on a sepoy, and what is assuring that if you bring a change in your behavior, still I am ready to cooperate you, I am ready to help you. You can see all these paintings in your book also. These paintings are given: Relief of Lucknow, In Memoriam, then Miss Wheeler, then British Lion's Vengeance on the Bengal Tiger, and Justice. This is all given in your book, right? Then images of execution of Indian soldiers also, how they were executed. There's a picture, or there's a painting like 10 to 12 Indians are standing in a queue and there are cannons. Means in open ground they were punished. What was the purpose behind punishing them in the open ground? The purpose was trying to create terror in the hearts and the minds of Indians. So this all is depicted through the paintings, right? Then now national imageries, when we say, that means what was the result? What was the effect of the revolt? This revolt of 1857 was a remarkable incident in Indian history because this brought the Hindus and Muslims together. Hindu-Muslim unity was also achieved through this, and the leaders were also depicted as a hero. They became heroic figure. When we say Rani Lakshmibai, then immediately seeing a picture comes in our mind. When we say Nana Sahib, when we say Kuwar Shah, so these are they became the hero. And through paintings, through poems, through writings, through cartoons also, we come to know about their deeds. We come to know about their pictures also. So they became the inspiration for all the people. Then there is a very famous poem also written by Subhadra Kumari Chauhan on Lakshmi Bai. Khoob ladi mardani, wo to Jhansi wali rani thi. This is a very famous poem and that is written by Subhadra Kumari Chauhan on Rani Lakshmi Bai. So poets, writers, they also gave their full support to mutineers, they gave their support to rebels, and then we come to know about the revolt of 57 through sketches, through cartoons. Then of course there are a lot of written records available, right? Then this also paved the way for the nation movement, because this was the first time when Indians were united. This was called the first war of independence, although there are many controversies. Historians have different views. It should be called as first war of independence or not. So let it be there, but we call it as the first war of independence. Then the pictures that also deep-rooted the feeling of nationalism in the minds and the hearts of Indians. So feeling of nationalism was deep-rooted because of these pictures, and in Britain, same pictures were there, like they were also depicting mutiny in their country. But what was the difference? What they were doing? They were motivating their people against rebels. They were motivating their peoples, and we were considering them as heroes. This is the difference. So pictures also play a great role. Okay, so this is all about the second part. Now in my next video, I am going to discuss short questions, multiple choice questions and long questions. So keep watching, stay home, stay safe. Thank you so much.